Hi everyone, and welcome back to another online Jujitsu workout class. As usual, we hope everybody is healthy and safe and doing okay in these continued troubled times. We have skipped a couple of classes. We had some holidays, we had some cancelled classes. Okay, let's get ready for class. Moxo. So yame. And one more informal bow, Onegishimasu. And up. So I like to keep my belt on because then I can grab my belt. So hips, hands on your belt, whatever works. Head to the right. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Hantai, ich, ni, san, shi, go. And if it's not obvious, hantai means opposite direction. Head back, down, back, down, back, down, back, down. Look right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, tilt right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, and any way you need it. Okay, both shoulders forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Reverse. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Elbows up. And three strikes back and then coming forward all the way. So 1, 2, 3, forward, 1, 2, 3, forward, 1, 2, 3, forward. Now the opposite. 1, 2, 3, back, 1, 2, 3, back, 1, 2, 3, back. Good. Left hominy, that means left foot forward. Your left heel should be somewhat in line with your right heel. So it's a narrowish stance. Left hand on your belt, or again on your hip, or whatever you've got there. And right hand is going to come forward like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On thigh, opposite. Right foot forward. Right hand on your belt. Left hand forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Natural stance. Feet underneath your shoulders, and so both hands are coming forward and they're going to be palm out, and then when they come in they're going to be palm towards our face. So palm out first. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. And now in. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Now back to left. This time put your left arm underneath your right hand. So your right hand is coming in, and again palm towards the face. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Now out. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Shake it in, shake it out, side to side, and punch. And thigh, same thing. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Out. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Shake it in, shake it out, side to side, punch. Natural stance, elbows against your chest, palms towards your face. In. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Out. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Shake it in, shake it out, side to side, double punch. Hands on your hips. So when you do the hip rotations, try and keep your head from doing this thing. It's hard, but think about that aspect and try and move just your hips. Ready? Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Reverse. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Stretch back. Stretch forward. Hands on the mat if you can get them there. Stretch back, hands overhead. Forward. chest to your right knee. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Left. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. And ready for torso rotations. Let me show you one, Callie, just so you understand. You don't have to do it the whole way, but this is the way it's done properly. So as we're coming up to our right, our hips are coming forward and our shoulders are going back, and we're looking at the ceiling. And then we're coming all the way around, hips go back to there. So each time you're going in and out, and you should be looking at the ceiling. If you can do that. If you can't, do what you can do, right? So ready, going to the right. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. And die. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. And standing splits. So whatever you got in terms of a split sideways, elbows to the mat. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Rocking. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Back on your heels. So toes pointing towards the ceiling. Have as little weight on your hands as possible. Drop your right knee to the ground, pivot, stretch forward, have the instep of your foot flat on the ground, and again as little weight on your hands as possible. It's a leg stretch. And die. Back to center, elbows to the mat. Rocking. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Back on your heels again. Pivot left. Right. And come up into Shikadach. So Shikadach, or horse stance, feet should be at 45. My split isn't great, but the more split you can get, the better. Elbows locked, hands on your knees, pushing out. And what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in, and as we breathe in, we push our hips forward and straighten our back up. Into the nose and out to the mouth. Hips back, shoulders forward. In, out. When you breathe, push down into your belly, both for the in and the out. In, out. Drop your right shoulder, try and look over your shoulder at your right hand. Keep your elbows locked, pushing on your knees all the time. And die. 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 Now keeping your hands where they are, pivot and extend your right foot for side kick. Which means the blade of your foot should be pointing away from your body. Your heel should be projecting past your toes. Your heel should be the furthest away point. And die. And die, toes up. So your back leg should be back to Shikadach position and your front leg should be straight. And die, toes up. And die all the way down. So I'm dropping my hands so that they're still bracing against my knees, pushing them out. If you can do that, do it. If you can't, no big deal. You want to go as low as you can get without your heel coming off the ground. And die. And die. And die. And for those that can do it, drop down into Hurtner stretch. I know, Lee, you can't do this. And reaching forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Twist right. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Twist. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. And die, opposite legs. And again, if you can get your insteps flat, if you can do this at all, do so. The next level would be to be okay to have it turned over. It's a little bit more tense on your knee though. And then the next thing you can do is bring it in closer. The closer they are together, the easier this is to do. So the maximum is to have it out here or further. Forward, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Twist left. Forward, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. And bring it in front. So same thing, but foot in front this time. Forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Twist right. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Twist. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. And die. One more set on the left. Forward, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Twist. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Twist. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. And yeah, me. So bring them in front. Heels together. Reach forward if you can. Pick them up. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Now reach a little deeper. Try and get around your heels. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Sit up, twist right. Left. Legs apart. So what we're going to do is we're going to sit up straight, we're going to turn right, and we're going to reach right with both hands equally. So I like to just hook my thumbs together as a reminder, that way I'm not leaning to one side. And when we come forward, we want to try and make sure that we leave the opposite butt cheek still on the mat. So you don't want to be rolling this leg over and lifting it up to get there. So if you can't reach your foot, grab your ankle, grab whatever you can, as long as you're grabbing the same place with both hands. So reach. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Sit up straight, twist left, reach left. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. And now to center. And the center is not about trying to put your nose down, so keep your eyes looking forward and try and put your elbows down. And if you can get past that, put your chest down. I've never managed that. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Back to the right. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Left. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Center. ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Okay, one more with these. So now we're taking our right elbow and we're trying to put it on the mat inside our right knee. Put our forearm flat and reach over with the left. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. And die. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Sit up straight, twist right, left, and bring them in. And bring your right leg across your left, and you're going to grab your toes, and you're going to rotate your toes and rotate your ankles together. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Opposite direction. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Massage your toes, in step and arch, heel, up your calf, shake, and if you can do it, put your blade of foot in the crook of your elbow and cradle it, and then we're going to rock the baby. So grab the outside blade of your foot, bring it out, bring it back in and put it down, opposite, rotate, ich, ni, san, shi, go, opposite, ich, ni, san, shi, go, massage toes, ball of foot, instep and arch, heel, up the calf, shake, 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 cradle, rock the baby, stretch, bring it across, bring it down, and good. Okay, so have you done a break fall or a back fall before, Katie? Okay, so I don't even know if you've got room to do it there, so let's not do it. Let's just get into, and again, these exercises can be grueling, so you don't have to keep up with us. It takes a while to get the ability to do everything, but we're going to go through the motions. So we're going to do jackknives from here, and traditionally jackknives are you make a V and you bring them both up together. I've got a spinal injury, so I do it from here to here. Both are standard techniques, whichever works for you. So we're going to do 30 of those if you can. Feel free to stop halfway or whenever you need to. Ready? Hajime. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, jo. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, jo. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, jo. And now put your hands underneath your butt so that you're raising your tailbone off the mat. And we're going to do leg raises. So don't let your legs touch the ground. They start out hovering above the ground, and we'll stay at that lowest position. Ready? Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. I'll just give you a break for a second there. Now, try to keep your head off the mat. This is also an exercise in making your neck strong. For me, this was one of the most difficult things. It took me a while to be able to, like a few months, to be able to get my neck to stay up strong enough. Okay, so now knees to chest. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Flutter kick, so just little wiggles. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, And straight up. Hold it straight up, beat on your belly. Fists by your cheekbones, bring your legs slowly down. And relax. Roll around a bit, shake it loose, whatever you need to. Okay, head back off the mat, bring your right knee in, and try and get your heel as close to your butt as possible, your knee as close to your chest as possible. Rotate your ankle, ich, ni, san, shi, go, opposite, ich, ni, san, shi, go. Now hook your foot behind your left knee, put your right knee on the mat on one side, and your right elbow on the mat on the other side. Twist. If you can get them both to the mat, no big deal if you can't. In theory, if I get my shoulder to the mat, it would be there too. Untie, left knee in, rotate, ich, ni, san, shi, go, out, ich, ni, san, shi, go, hook behind your knee, put it down, twist. And you should also be trying to look down the arm that's on the mat. So in this case, look over your left shoulder, not in the direction your knee is on the mat. Yame, both knees in, rocking. Stretch. And let me just show this. You can try this if you want. The idea is to have you bring your heels in by your butt. Tuck your head back, and you're going to come up on your neck. And if your neck is strong enough, then you're going to also rotate on your neck. And then we're going to put our hands behind our shoulders and push all the way up. So let's do that again. Feet by your butt. Bridge. Rocking if you can. Hands behind your shoulders, push all the way up. And yame. And come to Eizan. So I'm just going to give you a moment to get yourself together. Next step is push-ups. Just so you can see the sequence. I do it with my fists down. It's perfectly fine to do it like that. I've got wrist damage. My hands don't like being flat like this. So I'm like this. So what we're doing is we're practicing essentially this punch, right? So our hand is going to be, our arm is going to be rubbing against our chest. These lat muscles on the side of your body are going to control this, your strength, as opposed to biceps when you're out here. So again, we're like this, and then we're going to raise our right leg, raise our left leg, dip down our head, chin to neck, and push back, and then scoop, and then back up, and back down. So when I say head up, I mean try to look at the ceiling. When I say head down, you put your chin against your chest. Okay, so I know it's difficult. I could not even do one of these when I first tried. So there's all kinds of ways you can cheat at it. You can start by just crossing over your legs and not coming all the way up, doing them like this, right? So scoop and just keep your knees on the ground. That'll take up half your body weight. And there's also the trick, if you get better at it, to put your elbows underneath your body, because you can support your entire body. Right? I'm not expecting you to do that balance trick, but the point is if you put your elbows there, then they're not supporting your body weight in that intermediate stage. So a couple of tricks, whatever works, and we'll just try it. So, and before this we normally do a face fall, so I'm going to do that. Face fall, right, and in push-up positions. Head up, right leg up, down, left leg up, down, head down, back, scoop, back, down, head up, right leg up, down, left leg up, down, head down, back, scoop, back, down, head up, right leg up, down, left leg up, down, head down, back, scoop, back, down, head up, right leg up, down, left leg up, down, head down, back, scoop, back, down, one more, head up, right leg up, down, left leg up, down, head down, back, scoop, back, and now when we come down, try and just hold that position like a plank. Slowly down. So relax, put your insteps flat, back of hands flat. Breathe. Now on my mark, you're going to get up as quickly as possible in a fighting stance. Hey! And die. And die. And die. Turn around, drop to a knee, and fix anything you need to fix with your clothing or whatever. So, left hammy. I'm going to come closer to the camera so you can see. Kata gash. So kata gash, you can help correct her, senpai. We're going to take the row of our knuckles is the end of the lever, right? And the fulcrum is our wrist. So we're going to be bending based on using that lever, up and down. And in this case, we're going to use the row of them to twist. So kata gash, you take the meat of your thumb, you put your thumb in the middle of the back or across the row somewhere, and then you're going to twist. And once we get that twist going, then we can bounce it up and down a little bit. Just don't hurt yourself. It's hard. It's easier when something does. The idea is that we're going to try and get this 90 degrees and then twist in this direction too. While bending it and straightening the wrist. And thigh, opposite side, same thing. So part of this is to just get in a good knowledge of these wrist locks and how your own body fits into it, how far it can go before it starts to hurt you. And so know your body, right? Know when somebody does this to you, what your limits are. But it also hopefully will stretch you out a little bit, and you can get that extra microsecond when somebody does it. And thigh, switch. So EQ, we're going to put the web of our hand across above the joint. So think of lining up the blade of your hand on the row of knuckles and tipping it over. We're going to grip with not the index finger but the second finger, because the index finger makes a much smaller hole. We can have a much bigger grip by avoiding using our index finger. So point your index finger, come across here, grip around, and then bring it up and down your body. So at this point, maximum bend, you're pushing in on that row of knuckles, and you should feel the joint knot come on, come off, come on, come off. And thigh, opposite side. So you want to make sure you're all the way across the back of your hand. I can't really tell. Yeah. And just, the common mistake is to be at the wrist and then you go to bend it and your own hand is in the way. So you want to be between the wrist and the knuckles. Good. And now for something more difficult. Antai Nikyu. So Nikyu, have your thumb pointing down. Bring your other hand on top with your thumb pointing down as well. And you're going to grip that row of knuckles and flare both your elbows and bring them towards your nose. Bring the row of knuckles towards your nose. That's it. So you're going to tip it up and pull it in. Tip it up, so you're making a circle this way. And don't let your elbows go higher than your shoulders, right? That makes you vulnerable. Antai. Same thing, Nikyu. Don't worry about this too much, just get your wrists moving. Antai, Sankyu. So with Sankyu, this time what we're trying to do is make a box shape, so 90 degrees, 90 degrees. This would be like, if you can do it, a straight up and down pole, that you're then going to try and rotate this direction. So turn the palm out. So again, same thing, knuckle goes across here. This takes the meat of, this time, the little finger across the palm, and we're going to twist it. Like that. And again, the further you twist it, the better you'll stretch it. Antai. Antai, Shihanagi. So Shihanagi is a shoulder lock, so we're going to bring our hand forward like this and bring our crook of our elbow underneath this, so behind the elbow, higher than the elbow, and then we're going to bring it up and like that. Right, so if you can't get it down, what you can do is you can drop your thumb. See, with a thumb pointed in, you can grab your thumb and you can pull it down from your thumb as well if you can't comfortably get on top. And once you're comfortably down, then come on top. But yeah, this is a really good stretch. You're doing well there. A lot of people can't do this. Antai, especially people who've done a lot of push-ups. Their shoulders are too big. Antai, finger wrist stretch. So just like you're putting your hand out and you're going to take the thing and put it towards your leg all the way, as vertical as possible. And once you're there, you can kind of play the piano on your knuckles, stretch each individual finger. Antai. And shake it loose. Okay, so I'm ready for Tai Sabaki. Left foot forward. I'm bending both my knees, so you don't want to be started out locked. Bend your knees. The back foot comes forward, almost in front. It brushes past it. Your ankle should touch. Once it gets in front, we're going to dig in with our ball of foot. Pivot and slide the other one back, also trying to rub your ankles against each other. That's the most difficult part, right? The most people are going to start making big wide turns with their legs. Go ahead. Go back. So, just watch for a second. There's a flow to this. There's a circular movement that happens with our arms and with our belts. So notice my OB knot just sort of floats out and back in. So our arms are going to come out and just drop back down to our thighs. You don't want them to go past. So hands on your thighs, you come out and back to your thighs again. And if you can just do that and get the sequence down and not worry too much about how perfect your footwork is, great. That's all we wonder about right now. So left foot forward, itch, and back. So with each count, just the back is assumed. Knee, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hatch, Q, and Ju. Okay, on dice, so switch feet. I'm not going to check up on you, I just want you to get into the flow of this. We've got too many things. We would spend the whole class just doing our beginning part if I correct everything. So this time right foot forward, same thing. Left back foot's coming back in front, go, itch, back, knee, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hatch, Q, Ju. So this is called hitch step, and the footwork on its own, we're starting in our hominy like before, but this time instead of the back foot crossing over, the front foot stays in front. So if I was to do 3 little ones, I would go like this, like this, like this. And when we do it regular, we're going to bend our knees, we're pushing. So imagine you're lifting your foot without it ever actually leaving the mat, and pushing forward and bring that back foot with. Then we're going to pivot. Same thing, we push forward, right foot comes with, then we pivot. So the idea is that our feet never leave their orientation. I'm right foot forward, and then when I pivot, facing the opposite way, left foot forward, pivot, becomes right. So it's actually easier because there's no crossing over the feet. I don't know why, it always makes people get more confused. So start with your left foot forward. There is handwork to do with this, and Senpai, you can do the handwork, but for now, Callie, don't worry about it. Just so you know what it is though, is that we have our hands in this orientation, and we cross over to there. Let me switch sides so you can see towards the camera. We're like this, and as we come through, we're going to cross and come out. So if that somehow can work in there, that's fine. Otherwise, just work on the footwork for now. Ready? Left foot forward, hitch, and back, knee, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hatch, Q, Ju. And die, right foot forward, same thing. We go a little bit faster this time. Hitch, knee, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hatch, Q, Ju. And yummy. Grab your sticks or stick surrogates. We're going to work on the stick kata, so I'm going to just show you what it looks like. The stick kata is something that's done with another person, so there's somebody that's attacking you. But basically at the start we do the 5 points, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do that 3 times. I'll explain that in a minute. And then uke attacks. So I go 1 and back, 2 and back, 3 and back, 4 and back, 5 and back, 6 and back, 7 attack again. Same thing with 8, attack once, attack twice. And then 10 is 1, 2, 3, and a takedown. Okay, so there's a lot to your imagination that you have to apply there, but you guys have got somebody with you, so you can actually practice this a little bit easier. So the idea here is that we have 5 points that we're hitting. One is the shoulder-neck joint, opposite shoulder-neck joint, and then depending on what uke is and your distance from them and how they're attacking, like if this was sword kata, we would attack the elbows of the arm, so you can cut their tendons and they can't use their sword, and we do that with the stick too, so elbow, or we do the receiving front and back of the front knee, which is what we do in kata when we have an actual uke coming in with a shomanuchi and overhead strike. So what I'd like you to do first is just pair up and nice and gently stand so that you are at a distance where you can touch the person's neck with the last 5 inches of your club. So that you don't have to reach to do it, that you can be standing even stance and without having to lock your elbow out, be able to hit there. So they're going to take turns, right? And so we're going to start like this in front with your hand a little bit short of the end. Now in dojo what we do is we tell people to go all the way to the end. And that's when people are doing these shomanuchis that overhead and somebody miscalculates and comes underneath, they'll often get taken out by that or get gouged by it. So in dojo we hold it there just for other people's safeties, but for actual practice you want to have that nub because you can use that, senpai you can use that as a yuara, or you can use that both as a hook and an end of stick. So this is our base position, and what we're going to do is we're going to raise, like you're answering the phone, raise your right hand by your right ear, and you're going to use that to strike down and across. So one of the tricks is that you don't grip it tight all the time. You have to allow yourself to loosen it so you can snap it like that. So when you bring it up by your ear, it can be in this position as opposed to like that. You can loosen up a little bit, and that'll give you some real snap when you close that hand in. This is a lot of wrist technique. People have a tendency in most weapons, in bokken and in stick, to use their shoulders, and now you're kind of pushing this big object. What you want to be doing is more dropping your elbow, using your forearm and then your wrist to get that super snap. It's exactly the same as how tennis players use tennis rackets or badminton or squash or any of those things. And I'm sure in baseball, which I've never played, there's a version on this. So from natural position, chamber by your ear, drop your elbow, hit, and then back. Yeah. Now this isn't, I'm not teaching the kata. We don't do this to each other in the kata. In the kata we do this to each other's sticks in front of each other, so you'd be twice the distance apart. But I'm just showing you this for the purpose of knowing where you're aiming for in your invisible uke. So this is number 1 strike, right? Now number 2 strike, you're going to chamber to your left ear, so chamber across your body, and you're going to backhand to that opposite shoulder neck joint. So then we've got 1 and back, 2 and back, 1 and back, 2 and back, 1 and back, 2 and back. So do that to each other but alternate. For now we're going to just go chamber to ear, hit, re-chamber to opposite ear, hit. So that's your 1, 2, 1, 2, like that. And then we're going to add in 3 and 4. 3 is you come over the top and hit that inside front knee. And then 4 is over the top, the opposite direction, hit the inside of the back, or the outside back knee, or outside front knee, same knee. So you're going back and forth like this. So again, you have to be very loose with your stick. I'm exaggerating, of course. You're not going to let it go this much. But if you're trying to grip it really tight and you're trying to turn it over, it won't turn over, right? Your wrist will lock out at this point. So you need that fluidity to allow yourself to navigate those circles, right? So, so let's do it like that. Yeah. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 5 is where we withdraw. We're only going to withdraw as far as our hip, so we don't want to become all the way back here, and then use our hip to push it in. So the target is right in here. Now when we do it, that's again the formal target when they're standing flat, but when they're actually attacking, they're going to be turned out, and there'll be a target here, and there'll be another target over there. But again, for the first 5, the basic 5, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right in the middle. So try that for now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice there's a big hip turn for 5 because you have to use your hip to withdraw, otherwise you're going to have to bring your arm back. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the 10 points of the kata, and just like our Boken kata or Taisabaki kata, it's got all of the same basic 10-point moves, so senpai, you should be able to remember this relatively easily. So uke is coming in with an overhead, so again, you can do this to each other. The overhead strike, it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 1 and 2 is yomanuchi, side of head, whereas shomanuchi is down the center, right? So the attacker is going to come in for the classic overhead strike. So again, you chamber by your ear, just like number 1, but instead of coming to the collarbone, you're just coming straight down the center. So the attacker is going to do that, and the defender is going to do number 1, right? So in order for this to work, if your attacker is coming straight down the center line, right, you want to be just a little bit off center and hitting them there. So this is where their strike is going to take place, right? We don't have to move. Technically 1 and 2 is in and to the outside of their hip. If this was a Taisabaki, we would come in like this. If this was another one, we would come in like this and maybe elbow them. So we're coming towards their opposite side. This is their striking hand here, right? So let me get another stick here. So if their striking arm is coming in like this, we're going to be inside it and hitting them here. And at the same time, we're going to just put our hand, our protective hand, on their incoming wrist so that they can't retarget. Don't worry about that part too much. You've got an invisible uke. It's easy to do. You're going to do it with each other. It might be a little bit more obvious. So as uke comes in, we step in slightly, and we're going to hit and trap their hitting arm. Number 1 is easy because we just come in, we chamber by our ear, and we hit, and then we come back to our start position. Number 2 is more difficult because number 2, there's a tendency that the reaching hand is across the hand, right? So now we're coming to the opposite side. Again, their arm is on this side. Let me just put that there. So now we're coming to the opposite side. We want to, again, we don't have to grab the hand. We're just making sure that it can't redirect. But this, we want to get to there. So what you do is you have to chamber first and then trap the hand. Otherwise, the trapping hand tends to go on top and you're getting your own way. So they're coming in, we're here, we're going to slide to the side, backhand, and back out again. So chamber first, hit, and back out. Okay, so now we're going to switch over to 3 and 4. So 3 and 4 in most of these katas, traditionally, like the Taisabaki kata, we move to the side, we chamber, we kick, and we come back in. So it's the same thing with here. We're going to move to the side, and we're going to bop that incoming knee. So this is more of a sidewards movement than it is a coming in on the 45. You still may have to come in a little bit, depending, again, if you have 2 different arm lengths. Kali, you might need to come in more just to get to the front knee. And the same for 4. So 4, we go to the outside. So with 1, we come in with our right foot forward. 2, we come in with our left foot forward. 3, back to right. 4, back to left. Right, so 1, the 2 forehands, 1 and 3, are same foot, same leg, or same arm, same leg. And then 2 and 4 are reverse, because you haven't switched the weapon out of your hands, but you've changed your feet. You can do this without your elbows ever leaving your body, right? You could just let the stick come around, and as you come in, your hip is going to, boom, it's going to hit the inside of that knee. So you're not, flapping your wings, doop, like that. That's it, nice. So let's do 3 and 4 together. So we go out and hit, back to center. 4, we slide, and all we have to do with 4, because we're already here, people have a tendency to come up here and do 4, right? All you have to do with 4 is do, right? You're here, you drop it in. There's no need. What you can do is you can give extra tension, so you can push down against this, and when you let go of your grip, it'll just boom. Yeah, nice. So 5 and 6 is the thing that I showed before, where we're coming in the center, except for now, because they're attacking, and we might as well put this back in, we're coming to their outside, so we're going to be attacking here, underneath that floating rib here. Actually, that they would have this hand, so they're right-handed. So this is their open space. Right, they're probably just got their defending hand up in defense up here, so they're protected in their core on their front, but they're not. So if they're like this part's exposed. So we want to come up underneath that elbow and jam into their floating rib. So again, we're going to block with the outside hand, just like with 3. This time we're coming in on the diagonal, so 1 is in, 3 is sideways, 5 is in diagonally, and we're going to cross step and form this kind of scissor lift with our legs, so we can drop down and come back up again. So the idea is that if you can get your calves, the shin and calf joined, they can protect themselves. So it's kind of like plie in ballet, if you've ever done ballet. So the idea is you come in, and the cross step turns you and allows you to drop vertically right where you are. So the idea here is that we want to get underneath them. So this time we step out, cross step, and drop down. Now we're underneath. We can use our legs to drive this up into them. We can extend our arm just a little bit, but it doesn't need to be fully extended. We've covered the distance with our step. Drop down and push up into that rib. So boom. So when I practice this without Luke, I just do it like this. Right? Just keep my hand here, but actually it's taking the arm too. So think of coming out from your obi knot. Right, it's not coming from your side, it's coming from your hip. And try and get here, underneath the floating rib. So okay, when you do it, just attack with your hand and so they can see this opening here. And then 6 is going to be the same thing, except for we go to the outside, and this is the only time we swap hands. It's the only time we become ambidextrous. We're right foot forward. Now we're going to come to the left foot forward, and now we have access to the ribs underneath the swinging arm, their attacking arm. 7 and 8 is so with 7 and 8, Uke is coming in down the center with their attack, and then we're stepping back to the 45. So what they're going to do is they're going to come down the center, and they go, oh, you went over there, switch and come with a second strike at your new position, right? So their first swipe comes in, and we just go back. This is a rear hitch step back. So again, my feet don't change orientation. My left foot's forward. I'm pushing with my left foot all the way to back to the right corner, right? So to the 45. If I'm square on camera here, I'm going to end up over here and turning again to my obi knot, so I'm now pointing at the camera again. So what we do with our stick, we go, oh, I don't have a stick, right? So what I'm doing is I'm taking my stick and I'm just dropping it behind my leg like that, and I'm turned fighting stance onto them, not hominy, but fighting stance like this. And I'm basically saying, oh, you missed, come get me. If this was in a street and I didn't actually start out in this position, maybe I have a stick to start with, right? I tend to hold a stick like this. If I had this stick and I see somebody coming at me, I might just step out of the way and just let that stick slide down, be ready, and never let them know I have it, right? Then they come with their second hit, and their second hit we're going to, number 1, block it. So we're going to use our number 1 strike at this time to actually block as an incoming, and then we're going to straight chamber to the back end, step in, and do a number 2. So what happens to them is they go 1 hit, it misses, second hit comes in, gets knocked out, and we come in and take them out. When they're going to get knocked into this position, and we've got to get in there before they turn that into a backhand. So the easy thing to do is we just start out, and we're going to go back as far as we can and drop it behind our knee. Bring up your guard hand just in case there's another strike coming in, right? We might need to protect our head. Then chamber, hit across to block the incoming, and now step in with the back foot and backhand chamber and hit. That's it. And back to neutral. So again, back to the right, chamber, forehand, step in, backhand, and back to neutral. Again, back to the right, forehand, step in, backhand, and back to neutral. One more time like that, back to the right, chamber, forehand, step in, backhand, and down. Okay, so 8 is very similar. 8 is stepping back to the opposite side, right? So again, we stepped back with our right foot and we dropped down to the right. Now we're going to stay with our hands on our right hand. So the only time we do left hand is for number 6. So 7 and 8, it's still right-handed, right-handed. But this time we're going back to the left side, so the left foot goes back, and instead of hiding it behind our legs, we're going to just lay it across our arm like this. So like both fists in front of your obi knot, belly button, but you're going to be turned to the side just like we were before. So they should be just looking at the circle that's the butt of your stick, and not being able to see the rest of it, that it should be foreshortened and hidden behind the stick. So the perfect angle is you're like this, square onto the camera, you go to the 45 and you withdraw, and they shouldn't no longer be able to see much of your stick at all. And then you're going to backhand, step in, forehand. standing in neutral, this time sliding to the left and back. And back, backhand, step in, forehand, and back to neutral. Yeah, you want to backhand first because that's the blocking the income, and then you step in to take out their neck. So the first one you only have to reach their stick, right? So that you don't need to, you want to come in, you want to be where their stick is coming from here. So that's coming to you. The backhand is done before the step in, and then the forehand comes in as you come in and take their body, which is a little further away. So step back to the left, chamber, cross your hand, backhand, step in, forehand, and back. And again, back to the left, backhand, step in, forehand, and neutral. Again, back to the left, backhand, step in, forehand, and neutral. 9 and 10 are, so what we do, it's actually 9, 10, 11. Uke comes 1, 2, 3. So all the way straight down the center. They don't change their feet, they just hitch step 1, hitch step 2, hitch step 3. And very traditional in the martial arts is that they say never do anything 3 times, especially going backwards. So this, once you do something twice, it starts becoming a pattern. So you do it a 3rd time and it becomes something predictable. So what you do is you go back once, you go back a 2nd time, and then the next time you go to the side. And that's what we're doing here. We're inviting them in, kind of like we did with 7 and 8, but even further, where we go, the first one, I strike a block with a forehand. The 2nd time I go back, I block with a backhand. And then as they come with the 3rd and they're raising it up, I'm going to come underneath them and do, it's kind of like number 5, but this goes across the body. So this isn't actually a number in the sequence, we call it 9, 10, and in. So the and in, we'll call it 11 for now, is where you, and this is a very typical police takedown you'll see with police batons. You're holding it like this, and you're pulling this to your hip, pulling this to your hip, and using again that big hip turn to go across their body underneath their elbows, floating ribs. And again, because you're not doing it with your arms, it's got a huge amount of weight in it because it's got all of your body weight on it. Hitch step back, hitch step back. So we're pushing with our right, we push with right. The reason for that is that this weapon is shorter and we only have one hand on it. So our body's able to turn away from it. So this way we want to keep our right foot forward. If we step back with our right, we shorten the length of our stick, right? So we don't want to be left foot forward for doing these defenses as this incoming strikes are coming. We want to stay right foot forward. So we go right foot forward and do number 1, hit their stick. They come again, we go right foot forward, backhand. And then as they come with their 3rd strike, we're just going to drop into chamber, step in with the rear foot, and come in. So you come from here, and as you turn, you slide it in front of your body, and you use that. So you have to be hip to hip with them by the time you get in, because you're going to be hitting them there. And also, dropping also helps, body weight dropping, right? So be careful you don't come up, but come down. So let's start like this, and we step back with our left and block with our forehand. We step back again, block with a backhand, and then drop it to our hips, step in with the back foot, and use that big hip turn. Nice. Again, so 9 is step back forehand, 10 step back backhand, and then 11 drop down, come in, and hit them. Now, senpai, you'll remember probably is that the next thing to do is you take their elbow, you turn this over, and you attack their elbow and take them down. So there's a takedown involved in this too, but don't worry about that. Let's do that again one more time. Step back forehand, step back backhand, drop to your waist, come in and hit. Katsuki. So heels together, thumbs on what would be the seams of your pants. And Seiza. Same as at the start. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Eyes half closed. Mokuso. Mokuso Yame. Arigato gozaimashita. And thanks for coming. And I hope to see you next time.